Separation, place determined. Another way in which strict language separation can be maintained is through separation of the place or separation of the classrooms where these languages are being taught. So how does that happen? What happens is that different classrooms are assigned to different languages. That means that if you want to teach a subject in a specific language, the children need to go to that classroom to study that subject. This framework is used in several European programs and is quite common over there. And it is useful in this sense that the children are exposed to the landscape of a whole language or the culture of that language in which they are studying a specific subject. That is, the teacher is able to put the charts, she is able to put props which are relevant to that language. This also means that when the children actually get up and physically move out from the physical space of one classroom and enter the physical space of another classroom, they are mentally more ready to make this transition from one language to the other language. This also gives them some sort of consistency. There is a clear demarcation. They know exactly what are the different vocabulary, if it comes about, what is it related to, and how is it sort of like different from the other language. More often than not, it is used in secondary school level because it might be difficult for little children. The advantage is, as I said, there is this language surround in which when the children are studying, they can see everything or many things related to one specific language. So it's almost like an immersion program where only one language is used, the props are related, all the cultural specifics are related, and it enables the learners to have this kind of in-depth immersion in that language. Disadvantage is that the changing of the rooms for the primary children might be difficult. It might be an added or loaded thing for the teacher to actually line up the little children, to help them pack their things, to make them move into another classroom and then teach there, or some other teacher teaches there, but it becomes like cumbersome for them, and that is why more often than not it is used in senior classrooms. Another thing that might be a disadvantage is that it discourages contrastive analysis. Now, what do we mean by that? We mean that when the learning in two languages of different subjects is being done in the same classroom, then at the same time, simultaneously, the children can actually see the props, the things, the vocabulary related to two different languages, two different cultures. They might even talk about them, and the teacher might also encourage a contrast between how the two languages are structured, how the two cultures are different, or how are they similar, how is the writing pattern different in one language rather than as compared to the other language. So they have simultaneously looking at opportunity of looking at different languages at the same time. More often than not, this kind of place segregation or separation is also done with teacher separation. So when the teachers go into a different classroom to study a specific subject, the teacher who is teaching them is a different teacher also. Even when we might not think that this is not possible, this physical demarcation, then even it is strongly encouraged that when language use is being shifted, then the teachers might be able to sort of indicate very clearly by a physical code that the language is now being changed, either by a code, as we talked about it before, or by changing the sides of the classroom. There has to be a clear indication there for the children that the languages are now being switched. So this can be done with the use of different colors, as we said, but even when these languages are segregated by place for whatever reasons, it is argued that there must be some space for a contrastive analysis across languages, because this is very important for the bilinguals. When the bilinguals choose between languages, as they work through their way in a socio-cultural context, then they are going through this contrastive analysis in their brains, because in their mind there is one huge linguistic repertoire which is richer because of their bilingualism. So they have access to different linguistic codes, but what to choose at what time, that comes with a kind of contrastive analysis that they grapple with. So it is best to also discuss this in the classrooms.